I'm Marlene Häggström, and I'm the program manager for CELTIC-NEXT from Vinnova, which is a Swedish innovation agency. And we'll see if I can change the picture here. Hold on. And Vinnova is based in Stockholm, but we have offices also in Brussels, Silicon Valley, and Israel, and have partnerships in 11 by the Swedish government prioritized innovation partnership countries, where we collaborate with our sister authorities. And we all know the situation in the world is getting worse, and this is a worse situation, and the world has agreed on the 17 global goals that point in a common and sustainable direction. And to achieve the goals, we must promote innovation in the broader sense. Many of the goals are strongly dependent on each other, and the situation is now so complex that we look at more and more system innovation rather than individual parts of the system. So this is what we're saying from Sweden now. We have to do innovation in a broad sense. In order to achieve the sustainable goals, we need to do this and create conditions for system innovation to make this transition to sustainable future. And what we do here as a public authority is that we make the companies and researchers and the public sector and the general public to come together towards this common goal to take our society in a sustainable direction. No single sector or organization alone can find solutions to the complex challenges we face, and everyone must contribute to work in the same directions. So global cooperation is of course crucial, and that's the reason why we are here and participate in the Eureka networks and of course CELTIC-NEXT to create those collaborations. And when it comes to this call that we're talking about, the CELTIC-NEXT spring call, we have some Swedish rules, of course, also that you want to take knowledge of. And the Swedish consortium shall be industry-driven with a good balance between large companies, SMEs, and academia. And the effort from the companies must be at least 60% of the Swedish consortium. So it can't only be academia or research institutes, of course. And at least one SME from Sweden must participate in the project. And this SME or the Swedish SMEs must have at least 1 million Swedish crowns in net sales according to the latest annual report, and a number of employees that corresponds to at least 3 full-time equivalents. Further to this, we have some rules that SMEs can get funding up to a maximum 50% of their eligible costs, while large enterprises have maximum 30% of their costs, and universities and research institutes can have up to 100% of their costs funded by us. And but the project, you have also to look at the total project budget, and that is that we can fund only 50% of the total budget for all organizations participating in the project. And the level is from 5 up to 15 million Swedish crowns per project that can be funded. And we have some changes here. We had said before that the latest date for sending the extended abstract. In Sweden, we have this, I don't know about all other countries, but in Sweden, we have to send an extended abstract before, so we can give some feedback before you send a full CELTIC proposal. And the date was set to 28th of March, but now we changed it to the 4th of April, so you have another week since today was a little bit later than planned initially. So you have some more time. I had some questions from you before, and you were in a bit of a hurry, so that's good to know. So 4th of April, you send the extended abstract to Christiane, who can also give you the template. And then we from Vinnova review this and give you feedback by the 27th of April. And then, of course, you have followed the CELTIC dates to send in the full proposal by 24th. So, and then the projects that get labeled will know this from CELTIC by the end of June. And then we open up for the national application, and that should be sent to us at Vinnova after the label, and that is by invitation. So that is, you're in contact with me then after the label. And then we have evaluated and hope for a funding decision by the autumn in November, roughly. And for the criteria, we have, when we evaluate the projects, we have a look at potential and the KPIs and project potential to lead to increased competitiveness and growth of the companies. That's 40% weight. Feasibility is 30%. And the consortium of the partners weight 20% in the criteria. Of course, what I said, it should be industry driven, have active participation and commitment from the Swedish companies. And then in Sweden, we have also one point that is that we look at the gender equality in the project. So that is a weight of 10%. That differs from the global rules. I know we are late, so I'm doing this a bit in a hurry, but if any questions, please contact me. You have my email in the presentation, and you also have my phone number here in the presentation. And I think that's it for now. Any questions? Now, I try to put on the video when you put on, if you have any questions.
Thank you, Marlene. I ask in the room if there are questions. Any questions from the room? Yes.
Hi, Marlene. Thanks a lot for your very good and informative presentation. And it's very good that you extended a bit this deadline for abstract of the proposal. But anyway, so let's say, taking into account that today's event, it's 17th of March, and it's supposed to find appropriate partners now, okay, let's say today. So then I think 2 weeks, maybe it's not, it could be not enough time to prepare very good extended abstract, in the sense that, okay, if I understand correctly, so it's needed not only to describe technical parts from whole partners, but also budget from whole partners. And it's quite timely to coordinate all this. So maybe you can describe or explain what you are expecting from this extended abstract. It's not, for me, it sounds like, you know, already mini proposals. Yeah. So, but then for 2 weeks, it's taking into account that consortium is just forming. It's quite difficult, quite challenging. Yeah. So, thanks a lot. Yeah.
Yes, and I fully understand that it wasn't the plan in the first place, and the reason we put this short time is that this date was actually put a bit later, so we should have time to look at the proposals. However, that day, let me see, I need to have a look in the calendar. Because the reason for us to have the extended abstract is to be able to give you feedback to actually improve the chances to make a good full proposal by the 24th of May. So yes, we could put it 1 more week, of course. It's just that we're having Easter coming in, and then it's difficult to find a Swedish evaluators. That is the reason. So do it when you can, but 1 more week is okay. So whatever date that means. Hold on. So I not say wrong here. I will go back to the dates. You still see my screen? And I said 4th of April, and that means 11th of April instead. That works fine. I changed it here so you see it. So
about maybe you have like statistical information, for instance, from the previous year. So how many project proposals got CELTIC labels? And after that, how many of them have been approved by Vinnova? I don't know, approximate percentage, I don't know, 50% or 10% or 90%?
I don't have that kind of statistics, and some of the Celtic label projects doesn't have any Swedish participation, so I wouldn't even be involved in those ones either. So I couldn't say that, and it have varied a lot over the years also.
Okay, but typically if we got Celtic labels, so more or less, is it high probability or medium probability to get approval from Vinnova or low probability? So
It of course it depends on how many projects that applies also. So last year it was one project that was approved, 1 out of 3, I think. So somewhere there. But it is of course due to the quality of the projects that we look at first.
okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, no more questions.
I can complement what you just said, Marlene. Depending on the country, there's a dedicated funding for a given cluster, or there is a dedicated funding for all the clusters together, or a certain set of clusters, or there is no definite funding for the clusters, but for Eureka. And depending on the national way of doing, you might compete between only projects from Celtic for this funding that is definite, or between projects from Celtic plus ITIA plus XCCS and so on, if it's cluster-based funding in all the clusters, or if it's entire Eureka, you are competing with tens of projects, okay? And depending on the country, they decide for the best projects among the instrument they are supporting with this given funding. Okay, so I think, Marlene, correct me if I'm wrong, you are considering all clusters at the same time in your funding.
Yes and no. I don't. When I evaluate the Celtic projects, that is only looking at the different Celtic projects. But we have a common budget for all of all clusters. However, if I find one project that I really that we want to fund in Celtic, that could be funded.
Thank you, Marlene.
Thank you.